All right, Shalom, Shalom. First and foremost, I'm going to give all praise to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahushai, by Hashem, Rakah, Kadash. Also want to give double honor to the elders and apostles of GMS that rule well and teach well and for giving us 100% truth. All right, so I wanted to get into the hell in the Bible, okay, because when we hear of hell, we hear of hell as everlasting burning, torment forever, okay, that doctrine was pushed on us, okay, and it was really just a fear mechanism that was created, okay, going back to a Greek philosopher named Plato. All right, so I got this pulled up, this article pulled up. It's called "The Philosopher in Mourning: Plato's Invention of Hell." Okay, so it says, and perhaps the most overlooked mythical invention of all time, Plato, in deep mourning for his buddy and tragic philosopher Socrates, went ahead and created the best form of political control imaginable. Hell was Socrates' death represented was the failure of Paulus to operate with the philosopher. With models of deliberation and free thought without the onset of violence, the dialogue-based philosopher, gave up all of the dialogues after Socrates died, in large part, and focused instead of riding his way out of the mourning, as Hannah Arendt points out. The myth of hell was created in the end of the Republic for those who could not handle philosophical truth. Hell was created as a myth to promote a form of nonviolence as the foundation of political decisions making. Plato's invention of hell was a way for citizens to have a new system of rewards and punishment in the hereafter. Thus, it was conceived device to promote a new form of democracy. It might also be this invention, not of hell exactly, but of forms of coercion that to seek control the unruly citizenry that has left many pondering on Plato's totalitarianism. It's important to note the context of the cosmology of the Greeks at the time. Their view of the human condition was such as there is no possible change to the material condition of life. Men are born throughout the centuries to a natural or historical spectacle that essentially always stay the same. Indeed, Greek times, freedom relied on being in the presence of one's peer. This is how all citizens was developed out of dialogue and deliberation. All that changed with Socrates' death Socrates' death was not only gives us hell, it gives us religion. Religion is thus founded upon the ashes of mourning for philosophy. Philosophy may not be found as much on the failure as Simon Critchley is found of saying, as much as it is founded upon an unmournable death. So that's how the hell concept came about, okay, by a Greek philosopher. And back then that Greek philosophy was being pushed hard, okay, through the Hellenization. It was getting pushed hard out there. Okay, so pretty much it was a fear mechanism to restrain the masses. Okay, then later these religions absorbed the ideal and then turned it into an eternal hell. Okay, but then also you had a man by the name of Dante's Inferno. Okay, so what he did is that he attached an image to where when we think of hell, we think of demons tormenting you, okay, and you burning in hell for forever, right? As you can see. So that's why when people think of hell, they get these images in his head, okay? Because as when he made that book, as the years and generations went by, okay, these belief systems, these religions took that and pushed that, okay, and they pushed that, and that came the image of what hell was, but that's not what hell is. Okay, hell simply just means the pit, a grave, or a lower state. Okay, that's all it means. All right, or it means in different meanings as far as like destruction or the way it could be worded in the Bible. Okay. So going back, I want to go to go 2 Corinthians. Let's get some scriptures. This is 2 Corinthians 5:10. For we must all appear before the judgment seat of Hamashiach, that everyone may receive the things done in his body according to that he have done, whether it be good or bad. Okay. So we're all going to have to answer for what we did in these bodies, right? So now let's go to Ecclesiastes 12:7. This is Ecclesiastes 12:7. Then shall the dust return to the earth as it was, and the spirit shall return into the Father, to the Most High who gave it. Okay, so when you unalive, your body goes back to the dust, to the earth, okay? And your spirit goes to the Heavenly Father who gave it, okay? So you don't go, your flesh is going to burn in eternal hell, okay? It's telling you that your body goes back to dust. Okay, when somebody die and they're in the grave, their body starts to rot, it starts to decay, it starts to break down. Okay, the elements of the body. Okay, your spirit is going back to the Heavenly Father. You're going into the spiritual realm. All right. So now let's get Psalms 104. This is Psalms 104:29. Thou hidest thy face, they are troubled. Thou takest away thy breath, they die, and they return to their dust. Okay? So the Most High take away the breath of the spirit, and they die, and they return to the dust. Thou sendest forth thy spirit. Okay? They are created, and thou renewest the face of the earth. So your spirit comes back into a new body, starting with a baby. Okay? In the womb, your spirit comes back. Okay, just going into regeneration. All right. This is 2 Esdras 14:35. For after death shall the judgment come, when we shall live again, and then shall the names of the righteous be manifest, and the works of the ungodly shall be declared. Okay, so after death, okay, after you die, you go to the spiritual realm. Okay, you get your judgment, and then you come back on earth to live out your judgment. Okay, so you live out your judgment on planet earth. Okay, that's why, for example, when you see somebody get shot or something, okay, get unalive, that was judgment. That was their judgment. Okay, that was their judgment for what they did in their past life. Okay, the Heavenly Father, He requires what is past. Okay, let's get Ecclesiastes 3:15. It says, that which has been is now, and that which is to be have already been. And the Most High requireth that which is past, which is your spirit, because your spirit keeps on coming back. Okay, it's not talking about your body. Okay, because once you unalive, that body goes back to the ground, it's back to dust, but your spirit keeps coming back. Okay, so check this out. This is verse 16. It says, moreover, I saw under the sun, and this is what's going to debunk the hell doctrine. It says, and moreover, I saw under the sun the place of judgment. Okay, so you understand what's underneath the sun? The earth. Okay, the place of judgment. Okay, because judgment takes place out here. Okay, on earth. That wickedness was there, and the place of righteousness, that iniquity was there. Okay, so judgment takes place, okay, here on earth. All right, not you gonna burn internal for hell. It's not you gonna be burning internally for hell. Okay, as we brought out a couple of scriptures, that your spirit goes back to the Heavenly Father. Then he sends your spirit back. Okay. Your spirit is regenerated, and then you get put in a you come back as a baby. Okay. And therefore you live out your judgment on earth. Okay. If you can receive it. All right. So I want to go into Job, because when your spirit leaves, you are at rest. Okay. When your spirit leaves your body. Okay. You're not suffering. You're not going through these elements or being tormented. Okay. You go in the spiritual realm, you're at rest. And this is when Job was getting tested. His faith was getting tested. So this is Job 3:11. Why die I not from the womb? Why did I not give up the ghost when I came out of the belly? Why did the knees prevent me, or why the breast that I should suck? For now should I have lain still and been quiet. I should have slept, then had I been at rest, with kings and counselors of the earth which built desolate places for themselves, or with princes that have gold and who filled their houses with silver. Or as in hidden untimely birth, I have not been as infants which never saw the life. Okay, talking about a stillborn. Okay, so he's going in saying, pretty much when Job was getting tested, he didn't want to be alive. Okay, because he know in the spiritual realm he's not going to have to go through all this torment. He's not going to have to go through what we go through being in this flesh, being in this body, because this body is like a chain of darkness. Okay, it's a prison for your spirit. Okay, so it says 17. It says, "There the wicked cease from troubling, and there the weary be at rest." Okay, because when you go into the spiritual realm, you're not gonna. Everything's in order up there. Okay, and we're just gonna go into that. It says there the wicked cease from troubling, and there the weary be at rest. There the prisoner rest together. They hear not the voice of the oppressor. The small and great are there, and the servant is free from his master. Okay? So you at rest when you go into the spiritual realm. Okay, you're not up there or wherever how they claim hell to be, you're burning and eternal hellfire. No, that's not what that means. Okay, so you're not doing that. All right, so now let me go get Matthew 11:23. Matthew 11:23. And thou, Capernaum, which art exalted unto heaven, shall be brought down to hell. For if the mighty works which have been done in thee had been done in Sodom, it would have remained until this day. Okay, so I want to go into this word hell. Capernaum is a city. Okay, and it's saying that Capernaum, which are exalted to heaven, shall be down to hell. Is that talking about the whole city is going to be going down to hell? Let's go into this word hell. And you see it's Hades. Okay, Hades is known to be a Greek underworld god of the underworld. Okay, which that's Greek mythology. Okay, showing that how they try to twist it. Okay, so it says they probably unseen that is Hades, or the place to stay departed souls, grave hell. Okay, so pretty much what it's saying is that because grave is hell is a pit, a grave. It goes back to the word Sheol. Okay, so what it's saying here is that it shall be brought down to hell. Okay, meaning it's going to be a dead city. That's all it's saying. Okay, it's not saying that, okay, the city's going to be burning for eternally fire, or all it's saying is going to be brought down to a dead city. All right, let's get Matthew, and I hope this is making sense. This is Matthew 10:28. And fear not them which kill the body, but are not able to kill the soul, but rather fear him which is able to destroy both soul and body in hell. Yeah, pretty much don't fear no man. Fear your Yahweh Bashian Shah that can kill your soul and body in hell. That can destroy your soul and body in hell. Okay? Meaning your spirit will be tormented, okay? While it's in this body. While you're in a low state. Okay, so when you're in a low condition, you're pretty much you're in a state of hell. Okay, just like the Israelites, we're in the lowest state. Okay, so we are in hell, and this is Esau's rulership. This is his heaven. Okay, this is his heaven. His heaven is our hell. Okay, so that's why we go through a lot of shit, because we in a low condition, and this is our hell. Okay, we being tormented in these bodies. We at the bottom. Okay, so let's get so that's all it means. Let's get Psalms. Matter of fact, let me go into this word hell. So here you got Strong's number G1067, and you see the word Gehenna. Okay, all you got to do is look Gehenna up. Gehenna was nothing but a garbage dump where fire was burned continuously. Okay, that's what it was. Okay. So it says a valley of son of Hinnom, Gehenna, a valley of Jerusalem, used as a name for the place or state of everlasting punishment, hell. Okay, hell is the place of future punishment called Gehenna, or Gehenna of fire. This was originally the valley of Hinnom, south of Jerusalem, where the filthy dead animals of the city were cast out and burned, a fit symbol of the wicked in their future destruction. Okay, so pretty much just like America's going to be like Gehenna. Okay, it's going to be continued fire for a certain amount of time. Okay, and that's all it was. Okay, Gehenna was a garbage dump. Okay, where fire burned continuously. That's all it was. It was outside of Jerusalem. All right, but they, like I said, they like to take it and make it seem like something that it ain't. So let's get this last precept. Let's get Psalm 16 and 10. This is Psalm 16 and 10. For thou wilt not leave my soul in hell, neither wilt thou suffer thy Holy One to see corruption. Okay, let's go on this word hell. Let me click on it. It goes back to the word Sheol. Okay, Hades, or the world of the dead. Okay, you see how they like to add that, the world of the dead, including the accessories and inmates' grave, hell pit, Sheol, underworld, grave, hell pit. That's all it means is grave. Okay, because it says, for thou wilt not leave my soul in hell, neither wilt thou suffer thy Holy One to see corruption. It's going to Yahweh Shai. Okay, because Yahweh Shai wasn't going to be, he was going to raise up the third day. His body wasn't going to see corruption. His body wasn't going to rot, okay, in the grave. Let's get this in the NLT. It says, for you will not leave my soul among the dead, or allow your Holy One to rot in the grave. Okay, that's all it means. Okay, so I just wanted to get into this lesson going into the hell in the Bible. A little short topic, nothing too